Cut again. So I don't know how much we was rolling for a little minute, but we gonna cap it off with these last couple of precepts. Lord's will, I'll just bring the clips together and re-upload it on Feed the Flock, and I might even re-upload it on the Des Moines page. But yeah, we gonna go back to we read that Philippians the third chapter. So let's reread that verse 12 in the NLT.
Okay. Philippians 3 and 12 in the NLT. It says, I don't mean to say that I have already achieved these things or that I have already reached perfection, but I press on to possess that perfection.
Right. So, like we were speaking about, before the stream had cut, the fact of the matter is throughout the 17th chapter, it says that neither could they give themselves the fleshly hearts for stony. Paul talked about that battle between the flesh and the spirit. He said, when I want to do good, evil is present with me, and that is sin that's worketh in me, roughly paraphrasing that precept. So he's like, look, man, I'm in this flesh, you know, but that's not stopping him from still trying to press toward that mark, still trying to be perfect, still trying to overcome, still maturing. As we go into the, definition of that word perfect in the Greek, really the maturity, the development, right? So we're not using the flesh as an excuse not to strive and be harder, just lay on the ground. We read the precept in the book of Proverbs real quick. Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 16. I think it's Proverbs 24. Yep, and 16. It says, for a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So a just man, even though he falls, he's going to rise. He's going to get back up. He's not going to sit there and just lay on the ground and just get his ass kicked and accept defeat. No, he's going to fight. He's going to battle. And that's what these spiritual things, the fasting, the getting around bros, to cleaving unto the Lord, even when we get low. In the book of Sirach, the 14th chapter, it says that what? Blessed is he whose conscience hath not condemned him and who's not fallen from his hope in the Lord. Roughly paraphrasing that. So yeah, we're in this flesh. Yeah, we're going to fall, but we're still going to strive. Just like Paul is saying, I haven't reached perfection, but I'm pressing towards it. I'm in a hostile pursuit. I'm trying to get that shit out the way. Like, no, I'm still trying to, and overcome himself, overcome different things within our own selves, man. That's the mentality we got to have. Like, no, I'm going to elevate. I'm going to get better. That's why Paul talked about how godly sorrow worketh repentance. It says what zeal, what vehement desire, all right? What carefulness that it created when he was, sending certain letters out and making men, and they felt bad, they was cut. But he said, look what it produced in you. Because it said Paul's letters were weighty, meaning severe and stern. But even though it was like that at times, yet that forced men to make corrections, make adjustments, to give them that zeal and desire. Like, nah, I ain't making that mistake again. Nah, I'm going to get better. Yeah, I'm going to improve. I'm going to, continue that and forward in that development and that growth. Right? So you can go back to that in the book of
Philippians.
Yep, Philippians. Yep.
This back in Philippians 12, and in the middle of it's like Philippians 3 in the middle of 12, it says, but I press on to but I press on to possess that perfection for which Yahushua first possessed me.
So he's pressing on to perfection, that betterment and that improvement, right? But go ahead.
It says, no,
that maturity, right?
It says, no, dear brothers and sisters, I have not achieved it, but I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. I press on to reach the end of the race and receive the heavenly prize for which Yahweh, through Yahushua, is calling us.
That's right. That's right. Now let's go into that word perfection. I think it's in that 12th verse. Does it say perfect in that 12th verse? In the KJV?
Oh, in the KJV, yeah, it says perfect.
Yeah. So look up that word perfect there.
So yeah, for the word perfect, it's telio.
Yeah, you can go ahead and read that.
Yep, and the definitions, it says to make perfect, complete, to carry through completely, to accomplish, finish, bring to an end. When you jump down, when you jump down, it says literally accomplish or figuratively consummate in character, or consecrate, finish, fulfill, make perfect.
All right, now go to the root of that.
Okay, so the root
letter.
Yep. Oh yeah, telios. Yep. It says, brought to its end, finished, wanting nothing, necessary to completeness, perfect, that which is perfect, consummate human integrity and virtue, of men, full grown, adult, of full age, mature.
Right. And hone in on that mature. All right, because this is what Paul was reaching forward towards, man. All right, to get the victory through what his growth and development in the spirit,
Yeah.
getting closer to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, being made in His image, right? That maturity, right? You got something else?
Just reading in the Strong's definition, it says growth. And
Strong's of the
the
Telios.
Telios, yep. For the Strong's definition, it says growth. It meant. It says. I'm gonna just read it. It says complete in various applications of labor, growth, mental and moral character.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's it. So this word mature in the Google definition, it says fully developed, physical, full grown, having reached the most advanced stage in a process, right?
Mm.
So we should be advancing and having a mind to reach the most advanced stage. All right, leveling up. And ultimately that'll come when Yahweh Shai returns. But until then, this should be our mentality, relentless pursuit and the inner development, growth towards Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So that's why the different things that brothers are saying, that we need to work on, that we need to fix, why not do it? It's going to get you closer to that stage, closer, to that higher level, right? It says, yep, that's pretty much it. Having reached the most advanced stage in a process, right?
Now in that definition, it said develop.
Yep, and that's the spirit, yep.
That's the spirit. When you look up the word develop in the Etymon online, of course it says unfold, unroll, but when you jump down, it says that of advance from one stage to another toward a finished state.
Mm-hmm.
And we trying to get to that finished, complete state, that maturity, man. All right, and it takes growth, it takes discipline, all right, it takes sacrifice, all these different things in order to achieve the final goal, the end goal. And that's getting from one step to another, knowing damn well us being in the flesh, we can't do it physically, man. But it's about having that mentality is like, I'm still going to try to get the, what I'm saying? I'm still going to try to be perfect.
I'm still trying to be better.
Yeah.
I'm going to still improve. I want to be better in my decision making
Yeah.
and all that, over my desires, everything.
And there's like so much room to grow because we can't get to that, to get to that final point. So it's like, it's always room for improvement. There's always room to grow. It's always things to accomplish, within our own selves.
Yeah, and that's why we read that St. John, where Yahweh Shai talked about bearing fruit, and then that's continual growth. And he said, those that are bearing fruit, I'm going to purge it so it could bring forth more fruit. So it's just a process of continual development and growth from stage to stage, right? And it says just that word development in the Etymon online, a gradual unfolding, a full working out or disclosure of the details of something, the point, the internal process of expanding and growing.
Internal process.
It's an internal process, man. All right, going to the outward man perishing, the inward man is renewed day by day. That is an internal process, man. All right. So we're working on the inner man, until Yahweh Shai returns and he completes that process by perfecting us with those new bodies, man. Finishing the work that he began in us, It says advancement through progressive stages, like he said. So this is the process that we're going through, getting stage to stage, leveling up more and more, And really, man, it was a couple of other precepts, but through the spirit, I feel like that's a good wrapping point, man. Unless you had something else.
Nah, that's pretty much it, man. That's the point, it's just once again, this thing is about growth and development, man. Just being better than the person that you was the day before. Just like how the precept says, reaching forth unto those things what lies beforehand instead of those things which are behind you. So that's what it's about, man.
Yep. And I'll actually end it off in this 1 Corinthians 9. So this is 1 Corinthians 9 in verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. That's having what? Self-control, right? This word temperate. It says in the Greek to be self-controlled, continent, to exhibit self-government, conduct oneself temperately. All right, it says in the figure drawn from athletes who in preparing themselves for the games abstain from unwholesome food, wine, and sexual indulgence. So the abstinence that they show. All right, because what they're striving to obtain the victory.
Yeah.
All right, in a carnal thing, in a
Yeah.
a championship belt, a ring, who a nigga gonna get next week. All right, or next year somebody else gonna have it, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna go into 1 Corinthians 9:25, and everyone that's striving for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body, meaning what? I exercise discipline, I exercise self-control, I exercise temperance. All right, the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. So we have to show that, man. It says in so many areas, it says, lest but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. All right. So we want to show forth that discipline. We should want to have that zeal and that desire of developing and growing from stage to stage, from glory to glory, as the scripture says, man. And it's just levels to it. You cut off certain things from your diet. And then throughout time, years down the line, you might have cut off a little bit more, and now you don't eat certain things, and now that's just a level of just with food, and how much more in so many different areas, certain things that you might have did that was okay. Then it's like, I'm gonna fine tune and refine this, man.
Yeah.
And just growing and growing more and more in all these different aspects of wisdom.
Yeah, you don't want to just be stuck on the same. Because here it is, bro. But when I go back home to go visit my peoples back at the crib, I see the same niggas doing the same shit, and it's like there's no growth. Like they physically grown, but it's like mentality, they don't grow. They still stuck fucking doing the same BS that they was doing when we was like kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you have to like to a certain point has to like, and really, of course they don't have the faith, and the gift, that we have. But even with us having this gift, is like we still can't be in that same state we was in last year or the year before, or you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's about, once again, it's about growth, development, becoming mature. We ain't like we getting younger, we're getting older, so we have to come to a certain standpoint with ourselves, and understand like, nah, like I need to be better. Like I'm getting older, so let me grow the hell up, But
And so having that being said, Lord's what I was edifying, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwarash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hope of the elect, pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. And with that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.